The idea of Neuralink is basically being able to process information like an AI without the AI having their own consciousness, because that's what Elon Musk fears. He fears the idea of artificial intelligence having their own consciousness and bringing us basically to our knees as humans. So
Sign me up, but not Bill Gates though. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't want anything in my brain, honestly.
I'd be up for
Not
it.
yet.
I'd be up for it because it's just like the iPhone.
Mm.
You know, like how the iPhone came out. It was like, oh, well, that's freaking cool.
Yeah,
Man,
but that's
only
not,
rich people can have that.
Yeah, but that's not going into your brain though.
No, but it's kind of like it because of how intrusive it is into your privacy.
Yes, but this is going into your brain.
This is going onto your thumbs. This thing can kill you. It has microwaves. It's the exact same. It's the exact same thing that they said about TV. The exact same thing they said about books when they came out in newspapers. It's just like and radio. Like they legitimately thought that this piece of technology was like the worst thing ever, and that it's gonna kill you. But it's just like with the way that the times go in generations.
But I don't think you get what I'm saying.
Of how like weird, because it's weird
going into your brain, right?
And so that sounds extreme to us. But people also had that extreme mindset with TV. To us, it seems normal because we've had it for so many years, and it's become normalized.
I don't think you still know what I'm trying to say.
No, I know where you're coming from. It's going into your brain. You're able to see things off of a screen. It's just with the times. It's new, it's weird, and it's something that's normal.
Yeah.
The idea of it legitimately going into your brain, and that sounds absolutely absurd, but that's exactly what they said about TVs. It's right in your brain. Stop watching it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I want to say now is, yeah, sure, it's going into your brain. Cool, right? It's not... That's kind of part of it, but also, like, what if something goes wrong where, like, let's say it's shorts and it just zaps your brain, right? It's just like, I'm cool with it. I want to see where it goes.
I just don't want to die.
I just don't want to be the beta tester that gets zapped.
The beta tester that just dies.
Or the alpha tester or something, right?
You know what? When you get into a car, you think that's exactly what the first people who were driving the cars were thinking? I don't want to get in that thing because I could die because it's going so fast. I'm going to die.
They're going like 5 miles an hour.
So you see my point. Where like when new technology comes in, there's a lot of skepticism because it can be interpreted.
But you're not in the car 24/7.
Yeah, but you're on your phone 24/7, and that's a new piece of technology that people. Well, some people.
Not while I'm sleeping.
Radio waves, dog. Microwaves.
Oh, no.
So, and I've thought about it. Like, okay, when our grandparents or great grandparents, because I don't really know my grandparents, our great grandparents. Great, they interpreted books to be this brain rotting thing where they were fearful of their children not being able to distinguish the fiction that is a book and reality. And so we had cases where people would get rid of books, or they view books to be a very bad thing. But now, in our generation, it's viewed as a very high regarded form of education. If you read a book, you're probably intelligent.
Yeah.
And so that's where we are in time. With something like Neuralink, it's a completely new piece of technology. Yes, it's weird, it's new, it's scary, but that's just what technology does over time.
Would you do it?
Probably, yeah. If I was given an opportunity to literally be a pioneer into the new era of technology, I am so down for it. Welcome to podcast number 4. Let's get it going. Brian, how have you been?
Pretty good and tired and energized at the same time.
All right, that's how we roll. Even if you're tired, just gotta get through it. We're getting a podcast out right now. We're getting this started. Why? Because it's the way we do it. So I don't want to touch too much on the debate, but the comparison that I've seen is pretty much like watching two older men fight over the last Jello cup in a retirement home.
Or like when someone takes their spot for feeding the pigeons. I don't know.
I know where you're coming from. So what was kind of interesting about it is simply how different it was in comparison to like any other debate, just because of it was like watching children.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like,
And they were cutting each other off a lot. They were interrupting, and they were almost trying to debate the moderator.
the moderator.
But the memes are spicy. I've seen them already. They're funny.
What does a couple of them look like?
I sent you one. You probably didn't.
I
even
can't.
look
No,
at
I
it.
looked at it, but I just can't remember.
It was the Eminem one.
The
Yeah,
Eminem.
that was funny.
Joe
The
Biden.
deep fake one. That was funny. I've seen another one, but it didn't make me laugh as much as this one did. Cause it just wasn't as like perfect. But yeah,
I thought the
Yeah,
Eminem
look
one
at-
wasn't that funny though. I don't know. I didn't like ha 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 ha. I just
I thought it was funny because of how like good the deep fake was.
because it was in sync with the lips and everything.
Well, the deep fake is making Joe Biden's lips go with the music.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are scary. The idea
Yeah.
of like being able to take whomever is in power and be able to move their lips
And say anything.
and say whatever you want, and it looks real.
Yeah.
Just like how far technology has come in order to develop something that destructive to a personality or to like someone of high profile, or causing a type of war. That's crazy.
Nah, I'm pretty sure they know when it's real or not. Cause it's sure they look really, really like
Legitimate.
legitimate. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's some like instances where you're just like, that can't be. That can't be.
It's like if there's a video of Putin and Kim Jong-un reciting, do you ever feel like
Yeah.
a plastic bag? Like that one movie. What is it called? It was with Seth Rogen and...
No. It was
Seth Rogen. It was with Seth Rogen. They went to North
Was it?
Korea.
no. I thought it was James Franco.
James Franco and Seth Rogen. Yeah.
Okay.
That movie
I
was
know
funny.
what movie you're talking about. They made a whole big deal about it.
Yeah,
And
North
they
Korea
never
and
wanted
South
to
Korea.
release it.
Well, what's kind of interesting is that South Korea had some protesters, against North Korea. And they had these balloons, and then they had like some thumb drives on the very tip of the balloons. And so they would just let the wind current take these balloons to North Korea, and they would pop and like drop the film. So there possibly were some...
Wait, hold on. Was it USB drives or what was it?
I don't know, some type of memory stick where they were able to upload it to a computer or TV, and they're able to watch the entirety of the film. And they took that film as like legitimate way to protest against the tyrannical government that is North Korea.
Oh yeah, I just find it funny that they say that he's a god and
But going back to the topic of like top 10 films, like number one for me, I'd have to say The Pianist. The Pianist is a brilliant film that shows the atrocities of the Holocaust and how awful of a situation that it was through the eyes of a musician who's just trying to survive. And the musician is played by Peter Jackson, right?
I've never seen that movie.
He's the same guy that stars in King Kong, the first King Kong. I think it's Peter Jackson.
Is it weird that I say I had never seen King Kong either, or that I don't remember
You can't be friends no more.
seeing that movie?
The door's right there, buddy. I'm just kidding. No.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
Right. So The Pianist is like number one. That movie was well crafted, beautiful. It made me feel emotions. If a movie doesn't make you feel emotions, whether it's sad, empathy, even if you feel like triggered, right, like you want to go do something, if it makes you feel joy, if it makes you feel excited to do things, or any of those types of films that make you feel an emotion, that's definitely...
Do you want a movie that can give you anxiety?
Anxiety?
Yeah.
I dislike scary movies.
No, it's not a scary movie.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, so it's I'm not sure what war it was. I think it was World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Dunkirk. Dunkirk, yeah.
Dunkirk.
Yeah. It's like it's a war movie,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like there's like very little dialogue, and it's just like you follow this. I forgot his name. His name might be. I don't think it is, but you follow the main character around, right, throughout the war, and it just gives you so much anxiety because you think he might get like shot any second.
Oh.
It's just so intense, but it's a good intense, right?
Mm.
It's like a really good movie. Also another one is 1917. It's kind of like that one.
Oh, isn't that one the most recent one?
Yeah, that one's World War One movie. It's a good
Hmm.
movie. I like it. But
What? All right. So without like, spoiling it, what is something that? What was like one scene that attracted you so much to it? If there's any way of not spoiling the movie.
what movie?
1917. Because I know it just came out, and so
It didn't just come out, but it's definitely like pretty new.
most recent.
Yeah, but the scenes that definitely like made me like keep watching the movie
Mm.
is damn. I don't want to give out too much, but let's just say a German soldier like crashes
Mm.
near the two characters that they're following, and they feel sympathy for. They want to help that German soldier get out of that like plane that's on fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, just because they're on like opposite sides doesn't mean you can't have sympathy for someone.
And that
But-
reminds me of
But you gotta watch the movie.
Yeah, right, yeah. So there's this like in history. There's a moment. Again, I don't know which sides were fighting, and I don't know what year it was, but I can give a vague story of why it's very prominent and why I think of it sometimes. There was, I want to say, German and French soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
They were in conflict with each other, and they were fighting to death, as most wars are fought, and it's a lot of bloodshed. And they're fighting, and it's around Christmas time. They stopped fighting for, I want to say, a week or two, because it's Christmas.
Oh.
And they eventually stop and cease fire, and they just start greeting each other. They start playing soccer. They start building friendships with each other. And within their thoughts, they were asking themselves, why are we fighting if we're human? Why are we fighting if these people are the way that they are, human? And so when the commandments came to start getting back into engagement, they did, but they were also in the back of their minds, I don't want to kill these people. They're just like us. And so when the higher ups sent out commands to do a bombardment at a very specific location, either the French or German told the opposing side, this area is going to be bombed.
I didn't know that, but I do know that they were playing on Christmas. I think they were playing soccer.
Soccer, yeah. And so the area was going to get bombed, and either the German or French told the opposing side, we're going to bomb at this time at this area. Don't be there. So they weren't. They moved. And then I think it was the reverse, vice versa. They had a situation like that where higher ups sent out a command, and the conflict was over. And then after that, I don't know much. But that kind of shows the human nature within us to identify each other as only being humans. I just don't think that DC can compete with Marvel at all.
Well, actually, the new Batman movie. I don't
Which
know
one?
if you probably haven't seen the trailer, but it came out like about 3 weeks ago. I feel like. You know the guy that plays Edward from I know people are like, oh yeah, obviously the guy that plays other characters too, but the most recognizable character he played was Edward from Twilight. Robert Patterson. Have you
Oh,
seen?
the sparkly dude.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
he's playing the new Batman, and it
Alright.
looks really good. I think it looks good. See, the 3 Christopher Nolan movies, right?
Yeah.
Those are good. I like those Batman movies.
I don't know. I really have not watched as much. I don't really watch DC that much. The only thing that I have seen DC or reference is like the Joker movies. The Joker movies are claimed to be one of the most artistic and well-rounded movies. Like the most recent one, what's it called? It was just called The Joker. The most recent Joker film.
Yeah. With yeah.
I forgot his
We
name.
live
Something
in
Phoenix.
a society. Yeah.
We live in a society. What the?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
That movie was. I didn't like. It's obviously controversial, but it definitely made you feel an emotion. When he killed the host of the show, it was a complete twist. I sensed a little fear when I watched it, because this man just went out of his way to kill this other man, and that's not something that you were expecting. It kind of hinted at the back of my mind, but it wasn't something that I was like expecting at all. But the idea of when you have what he claimed before he shoots him, I don't think it's something that people should idolize. I think it idolizes that. You know, if society doesn't treat you right.
But it's just a movie.
What do you mean?
It's a Joker movie, right? So like, the Gotham is a pretty messed up place, right?
Yeah.
And if you you see throughout the movie, he had a pretty messed up life.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, people made fun of him, and I think that was like, the thing that broke the camel's back, and that's when he snapped, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's when everybody snapped, because they were tired of Bruce Wayne's dad.
Pretty much like the rich taking everything and not giving to the poor.
Yeah.
That type of.
I guess that's what broke the camel's back, right? And it was, I guess, good timing.
You say the moose broke the camel's back?
No, I said, and that's the thing
that broke the camel's back.
Exactly.
Like, I thought you said moose at one point. That's a fair point, but it's very fictitious. I think there's a lot of things that come into play with situations like that.
You gotta make a movie interesting somehow.
Especially with the times.
The Justice League, on the other hand, I didn't like it.
I haven't even watched it. People have said that it's caca.
Yeah.
So I just haven't even touched that.
I mean, yeah, it's just pretty bad in my opinion. Like, I know there's a lot of people that are gonna say that, like, that I'm bandwagoning, right?
Bandwagoning?
Yeah. I just didn't like the CGI.
Of DC?
Yeah, of the Justice League.
I think what's interesting about heroes in general is that if people like this idea of, oh, what if I had powers? That'd be cool. What if I could fly? So if you had to choose a superpower, what would it be?
Me?
No, the mic.
Well, I'm just saying that just because, like, I'm thinking about it. I'm buying myself time.
No, you're good.
I feel like I'd probably do teleportation.
Well, something different. I mostly hear like flying or super strength, just like basic stuff, but teleportation. Going invisible. Yeah. But then, my idea is, okay, let's say that you're able to fly. I'm pretty sure there's going to be multiple other people flying. So then there's going to be laws and regulations of how limited you are in being able to fly. But since we're here in America, you'll probably be able to fly wherever you want, as long as you don't interfere with other people's rights. But the idea of flying and going invisible, it's like if you're invisible, who else is invisible? That's scary.
Like, why do you want to go invisible?
Yeah, I think it's definitely this idea of like disassociation and no consequences of what you're doing, and I think that intrigues people, like not having consequences. And I think that's what the internet opens up. It's like when you leave a comment, a hateful comment or a racist comment or any comment that is meant to degrade somebody else, there's not that many consequences. and which I'm glad that there aren't.
So
It would be nice if there weren't, but I'm glad that there are no consequences for simply leaving a message.
I mean, it's the First Amendment.
Yeah, and so that's why I love the Constitution.
So what power would you choose?
Molecule manipulation.
Oh, so you can turn anything you want.
I can
into
turn anything that I want into whatever other matter, in addition to being able to manipulate the forces of gravity and the forces of like air bending and rock bending,
water.
and being able to shift and control any element. Uranium, just cause cancer. That's awful.
Oh, no.
Never mind. You know what? No, wait. Yeah, no, I don't want that no more. Never mind. I just ruined my own fun. But being able to control plasma, that'd be intense. And being able to like pretty much shift reality as I please,
Like
Thanos with his
But there's also another character.
matter manipulation man.
Something like that. I think he's called the. Damn it! He's blue.
He's blue and tall.
He was in one of the movies. I'm not sure if his name is Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, it's Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
You got it on point.
Yeah, like him.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's cool. I like that guy.
He's so interesting.
Hmm?
I think the whole idea of having inconceivable powers of that of a god is, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But what would people even do with that power? If you're, it's like a syndrome from The Incredibles. If I can't be special, no one can. And then he gives everybody powers because he's able to do it with technology. It's wacky, like philosophical things with that.
See, I just want to teleport so I can just go everywhere.
Oh my
It'd
god, if
be
I was
easy.
able to teleport, I'd be some 400 pounds by now. Just teleport to work. I wouldn't even have a job because I'd leave all the time. I'm like, where'd you
yeah.
go between like this time and this time? I was here at work. Hey, come on, man. I can see the Disneyland hammer. I can see it on your head, man.
You still got like pizza on your face from the pizzeria down the street.
So like the idea of not being held accountable for like what you post on the internet, and that's pretty much a superpower. Like if you're to think of what you can do,
No, because you can still get punished for that.
but not. Fair enough, yeah. I guess you can. But the consequences that arise from it, like once you say it, it's done. Can never go away.
Yeah.
And I think some people should be held accountable for what they say. But then again, I don't want them to because of the First Amendment. It's a very contradicting idea. I think the freedom to do as you please, but having to deal with the consequences afterwards, it should be arranged. It's just it's very difficult to like pinpoint what is required and what's needed to be able to progress.
Just don't say anything mean.
Yeah, just don't say anything mean. If you disagree with someone, have a civil discourse. Because
Yeah.
if the whole point of having a civil discourse is to meet an agreement and to find a solution, that's what should be aimed for. Not, oh, I got you, I'm smarter than you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like
It's a gotcha moment.
yeah, it's a gotcha moment. Like the whole debate,
Yeah.
debate that was Joe Biden and our boy Trump, our President Trump, and our former Vice President Joe Biden. It's pretty much not like, oh, I got you, ooh, and there's like very little talk about their policies.
When they asked Trump, what are you gonna do about how are you gonna let people know how to vote? It was just went off topic.
I think that was rough to watch. I wanted him to legitimately answer some questions like, oh,
Yeah.
what's the Joe Biden plan? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, there's another meme that reminds me. There's another meme where you know how in WWE
Yeah.
when like one of the people was getting their butt kicked, some random like teammate comes from the stage and they have like a chair. It was Bernie Sanders with the chair, and it was like, oh no, watch out, it's Bernie Sanders.
Watch out, it's Bernie Sanders behind you. Trump, watch out.
But these memes are funny. I like
yeah.
these days. And
I think
just
the reason
memes.
memes have to be so funny is because of all the with the distress that's
Yeah.
occurring.
Yeah, and also, people are bored because it's still
quarantine time.
yeah. So
Quarantine time. I think a lot of things still being closed is kind of lame. But
yeah,
we
but at
understand
least
the
it's not.
precautions. Yeah.
Yeah, and at least it's not as. At least stores are not closed like they were before.
Yeah.
It's still limited hours, but at least they're still open. You know what? One thing that really messed me up is wearing a mask everywhere. I'm not an anti-masker, but I always forget my stuff. Wear your masks.
I think
But I always forget mine.
I think I understand where people are coming from, like, wear the mask, don't wear the mask. Because, I mean, the CDC has said, like, wear the mask, it's good for you. Oh, don't wear the mask because it can cause more issues. Oh, wear the mask. Oh, don't wear the mask. It's like switching information. It's like, what do we go with? I think,
Just wear the mask.
Just wear the mask. I guess that's just, like, the most simplest way of going at it. But then I like looking into things, researching, and, like, looking at opposition. And it's... I don't want to get too political, but I obviously wear my mask. At this point, it's common courtesy to do it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, wear your mask. It's common courtesy.
Because you're looking out for you.
You're looking out
and
for the
other
people around you.
Yeah.
But again, just like with every extreme, like left or right, there's always something in the middle. And in the middle, that's where most solutions are found. And it's just like, wear your mask, even if it's not for you. It's just common courtesy. And if it's not common courtesy, well, you're just kind of not cool, man. But again, I understand the opposition. Where do they come from? Because again, I like viewing both sides of everything.
I mean, also, you're just wearing a mask in front of you. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a big deal with it. I think the only big deal it would be is if it legitimately interferes with any health conditions that you may have. I don't know which ones can come into play, but if there are, then I gotta respect that individual.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm wearing the mask.
But I bet you those people who have those serious issues don't even go out.
But I don't think we should have that mentality, because if they do want to come out, they should at least have like the safety to be able to. If, we wear masks. We shouldn't just like say they should or they shouldn't, and then group the entirety of it and just be like, oh well, they're not even going out. Well, what if they are?
Well, exactly. If they are, they can wear a mask. But if it's
and
like
if they can't wear a mask,
well, that's what I mean. Like, if it's, I feel like people who have severe issues, I don't think they want to risk going out anyway.
Yeah.
But
at the same time, I don't want to limit their, capabilities of living their life.
But that's also up to them, right?
Everybody takes a risk the second they walk in the door.
Yeah, exactly.
I would take a risk when I drive. I take a risk when I
get
a package, because there could be wires hanging out of it.
Exactly.
Which would be really bad.
It's up to people, but
I think it should be left up to people to decide what they want to do. But once you start start realizing that, not wearing it, it's like it's norm. It's common courtesy.
Yeah, it's common courtesy just to wear your mask, because then you don't put other people on risk.
At this point, we'd have to be wearing masks because we're not 6 feet apart. But
Yeah.
we've been in each other's like bubble.
Yeah,
And we've met, and we're not at a stage, so we're legitimately fine. But I'd like to hear like more opposition. Like, why don't people wear masks? Why don't people? What's the opposition? Instead of saying like, because again, I wear my mask, and I don't like the idea of having to say that to be like, oh, it's okay for me to say this because I am this. But I like hearing opposition. Like, why don't people wear masks? And I like to hear where they're coming from to get a better understanding, rather than saying, just wear your mask. Oh, yeah. I got you. You don't wear your mask.
But also, like, I want to, like, ask people without making them mad or, like, being aggressive.
Because that's the whole point, yeah. Yeah. Sorry for cutting you off.
You got to be, like, just a general discussion on why they don't want to, without saying, like, the libs are crazy or something like that. or that Bill Gates wants to put a chip in you. Ooh.
Our boy Billy Gates. The crazy thing about Bill Gates is that he was... I don't know too much information about it, but I don't want to go off topic.
I don't want Bill Gates to put a chip in me.
Ooh.
And then Elon Musk, we're going to put that Neuralink.
And people are like, get me, let me better, let me better taste it,
Yeah.
let me better taste it. That piece of technology is so interesting, but it's so intrusive. It's literally going inside your brain.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain what it is? Just like summary of what Neuralink is.
Honestly, I have no clue what it is. You
Okay.
want to explain?
Yeah. So imagine, okay. So you're able to see with your eyes, and there's a limit. I think so. I'm not sure entirely if this is what it actually does, but this is like somewhere in the ballpark.
Mm.
So with your eyes, you're only able to take in so much information, like the colors, the size, the distance, and just like whatever you're able to see and perceive. But let's say a piece of technology comes in where it allows your eyes to be more enhanced. You're able to see farther. You're able to see in like
Oh, so
super clear
it's-
in depth. It's pretty much advancing the current organs that you have. It's like some cyberpunk stuff.
Oh, we're
But
getting closer to getting that Master Chief armor.
oh yeah,
Because I think the armor works based off of your brain activity
it
as
does. Yeah.
well. That's cool.
Okay, so what Neuralink actually does, that's just like an example. It connects into your brain and allows you to work more proficiently with AI. You know, the same way that Siri is, when you ask her, hey Siri, what is the length of the Great Wall of China? Instead of having to ask her, you already know the information. It pretty much allows you to already have that controlled information within Neuralink because it's connected with the vast of the internet. What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Okay, so
What do you want me to say? The huge
Don't.
chest of yours?
it's hard for me to get button shirts, man.
I'm not
I
even
just
looking
have a
at that.
picture. Stop looking. Eyes are up here, buddy. So, so the idea of Neuralink is basically being able to process information like an AI without the AI having their own consciousness, because that's what Elon Musk fears. He fears the idea of artificial intelligence having their own consciousness and bringing us basically to our knees as humans. So
Sign me
inst-
up, but not Bill Gates though. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't want anything in my brain, honestly.
I'd be up for
Not
it.
yet.
I'd be up
At
for
least.
it because it's just like the iPhone.
Mm.
You know, like how the iPhone came out. It was like, oh, well, that's freaking cool.
Yeah,
Man,
but that's
only
not.
rich people can have that.
Yeah, but that's not going into your brain though.
No, but it's kind of like it because of how intrusive it is into your privacy.
Yes, but this is going into your brain.
This is going onto your thumbs. This thing can kill you. It has microwaves. It's,
Oh, yeah,
it's the
yeah.
exact same. It's
No,
the
no,
exact same
but-
thing that they said about TV. The exact same thing they said about books when they came out in newspapers. It's just like, and radio. Like they legitimately thought that this piece of
Yeah.
technology was like the worst thing ever, and that it's gonna kill you. But it's just like with the way that the times go in generations,
But I don't think you get what I'm saying.
of how like weird, because it's weird.
going into your brain,
No, yeah,
right?
And so that sounds extreme to us. But people also had that extreme mindset with TV. To us, it seems normal because we've had it for so many years, and it's become normalized.
I don't think you still know what I'm trying
No,
to say.
I know where you're coming from. It's going into your brain. You're able to see things off of a screen. It's just with the times. It's new, it's weird, and it's something that's normal.
Yeah.
The
Well,
idea of it legitimately going into your brain, and that sounds absolutely absurd, but that's exactly what they said about TVs. It's right in your brain. Stop
But here's
watching
the
it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of what I want to say now is, yeah, sure, it's going into your brain, cool, right? It's not. That's kind of part of it, but also like, what if something goes wrong? Where like, let's say it's shorts and it just
Kills you.
zaps your brain,
Just
right?
kills you.
It's
Yeah.
just like I'm cool with it. I want to see where it
I just
goes.
don't want to die.
I just don't want to be the beta tester that gets zapped,
the beta tester that just dies.
or the alpha tester or something, right?
You know what? When you get into a car, you think that's exactly what the first people who were driving the cars were thinking? I don't want to get in that thing because I could die because it's going so fast. I'm going to die.
They're
It's gonna
going like 5
explode.
miles an hour.
So you see my point. Where like when new technology comes in, there's a lot of skepticism because it
But
can
you're
be
not in
interpreted.
the car 24/7.
Yeah, but you're on your phone 24/7, and that's a new piece of
Am I,
technology that
though?
people. Well, some people.
Not
are.
while I'm sleeping.
Radio waves, dog.
No.
Microwaves. So, and I've thought about it. Like, okay, when our grandparents or great grandparents, because I don't read, not my grandparents, our great grandparents, great, they interpreted books to be this brain rotting thing where they were fearful of their children not being able to distinguish the fiction that is a book and reality. And so we had cases where people would get rid of books, or they view books to be a very bad thing. But now, in our generation, it's viewed as a very high regarded form of education. If you read a book, you're probably intelligent.
Yeah.
And so that's where we are in time. With something like Neuralink, it's a completely new piece of technology. Yes, it's weird, it's new, it's scary, but that's just what technology does over time.
Would you do it?
Probably, yeah. If I was given an opportunity to literally be a pioneer into the new era of technology, I am so down for it.
Didn't they put it into a pig recently?
I don't know, man.
I think they did.
Just sign me up, Elon. Give me that beta test.
I gotta do more research on that, but it sounds cool.
It sounds interesting because it's a new leap into technology. You know, the same way that older generations might have difficulty with computers, we might have a difficulty with Neuralink. But then our younger brothers and sisters will probably be able to pick it up because they're more they're like sponges. They learn quicker. Like when you look at your little kid, look at him. I want you to look at your kid if you have one, or look at your sibling, the youngest one. That guy's gonna have a Neuralink. And you're like, what the hell? Sounds like weird.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But that's just how time works. That's how history, generations work. It's weird.
I feel like if you just dip yourself into new technology or new things that come out, I feel like you'd be pretty good at them, right?
So over time, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No? Why not?
Okay, so in psychology, there's this idea that children are able to pick up information as quickly and being able to process it faster because of the way that their brains work. When you think of a kid, it's easier for a kid to be able to learn a new language than someone of our age. It's because our brains are a little bit more developed.
But are you well, yeah, okay, I see your point.
Our brain doesn't retain as much information and processing as that of a kid. So that's why sometimes you have 40-year-olds or 50-year-olds who are a bit older. They have difficulties with computers, but we're able to pick it up because we grew up with it and we have this muscle memory with it.
Yeah.
And we're able to understand it because it's a whole new concept. It's like being able to explain. It's like, for like my mom, right? We'll say like a previous generation. 2 + 2 makes sense for her. 2 + 2 = 4. And for me, 2 × 2 = 4. That makes sense for me. But then for my little brother, 2 squared makes sense. And I'm like, wow, what? That's crazy. How did you get that? 2 × 2.
What is that little number doing up there?
What's that? Bring that down. Bring that down here right now. And so that's just how our brains retain information because it's difficult for us. And I just thought of that analogy on the spot, and it was a pretty good one. So it's being able to comprehend how information now works and how difficult it is for us to do so.
But what I'm trying to say is that, like, let's say, for example, if it's brand new and you start learning about it when it's brand new, you will do pretty good, right? Yeah. So, like, let's say Neuralink's gonna, let's say, for example, come out soon, then I feel like we would know about it better than, other people that don't do research on it.
Younger people or people of our generation?
Younger people. Like, no. Why not?
Because although we may have more time with it, they will pick it up way quicker than we will. And they'll get really good. That's why do you think that most Fortnite players are little kids? Because that's what they're grown up with, and that's how they get that information. And I've noticed it. The most recent world champion of something like Fortnite, I don't keep up with Fortnite, but hearing that a 15-year-old...
It sounds like you do.
But hearing that a 15-year-old won $3 million at a... No, I think... Yeah, $3 million at a world Fortnite competition, that's kind of an interesting read.
That's pretty good.
So I read it. And the 15-year-old won, and he competed against a bunch of other kids. Because these kids were top-notch. And like...
But video games are different, though.
Because kids are able to pick it up.
Well, no, not because of that. It's just because when you're younger, you have a way faster reaction time than someone that's 30 or 40.
Exactly.
They're a way better player. But I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying more of like
because of the way that their brains are structured, right?
what I'm saying is like if let's say for tomorrow, like a new technology came out, right?
Yeah.
Like just a new technology that we never seen before.
Neuralink.
And we
We'll use
okay,
Neuralink as an
okay.
example.
and you and I are just doing research on it, right? We're hearing constantly. We see how people are doing. And then versus someone that like we jump on it as soon as it's new, right? And then someone else gets on it way later, then it's going to be way too complicated for someone to jump into it, and they have to learn a lot more than we did, because when we started to learn about it, it was kind of simple, right? But now it's a lot more advanced, like in the future, and then it's going to be a lot harder for people to jump in there. Like video games, for example, right?
Okay.
Back then, there were 2D games, and they were pretty easy, right? It was Pong. It was just two things going up and down.
Yeah.
Then later, we got 3D games, and now we have 2 joysticks, right? And now it's getting a lot more complicated.
So, let's say that you took somebody who learned the 2D game, and then we bring them to now. Now they're gonna have. So what you're claiming, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is what I got. This is what I got. Okay. That somebody who learned how to play Pong. It's a video game, right? But then everything that is after Pong is still a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Like the most recent games, like Call of Duty Warzone. So what you're saying is that if that person put in the time and dedication to learn Pong and every other form of a video game, because they had the ledge up of being existent, is going to be able to pick up Call of Duty Modern Warfare or Call of Duty Warzone quicker than that of a child at the age of 13.
Not exactly, right? But let's say, for example, you give them a simple game that's 2 joysticks, right?
Okay, we'll stick with Pong, yeah.
Well, that's not 2 joysticks.
Oh.
Something that's more complicated than that. Just two.
Mario, something with Mario. There's always something with Mario.
Let's say Doom.
Okay, Doom. Yeah. Okay.
Doom, like the classic Doom.
Yeah.
Let's say they pick that game up. They're gonna get the hang of the joysticks, right?
The guy who originally played Pong or the child?
The guy who played Pong.
Okay,
Or either or.
We'll call him GP.
Or they're
Guy
both,
who plays Pong.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's say he starts to play Doom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he gets the hang of like the 2 joysticks. I feel like he'll probably have an easy time transitioning to something complicated like Call of Duty, because he'll learn how to control the X and Y axis, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like with a kid, he can probably just jump into Call of Duty and learn it pretty fast. But if you also put him into Doom, he'll also learn Call of Duty way faster than the other person.
Okay, so the kid...
It's like practice.
Okay, so the kid plays Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes to Doom. He'll be able to pick up Doom quicker because he already has a prior knowledge of playing something as complicated as Call of Duty.
Yes.
So, the same way that... So referring back to the language thing, a child is able to learn languages easily because they're able to retain a lot of information. For us, it's more difficult because we have the basis of one language. When you have English and Spanish, right, it's easy for us to speak it because we grew up with it. But if you were to have somebody completely different, let's say my sister Cody.
But here's the thing: you're doing languages. You're not doing anything that's physical.
No, but
form.
this can be applied to a lot of things. So it's very
difficult.
Okay,
but
so
there's 2 different things.
So it's difficult for me. Okay, so I play Xbox, right?
Okay.
It's pretty difficult for me to transition from Xbox to PC, which is why I don't play anything complicated on my PC, which is why I don't play anything at all.
But here's the thing:
I haven't put in the work into learning it, right?
But here's the thing: you already know how to play that game, right? Let's say you go from Call of Duty Warzone on Xbox to the PC. You're gonna know what to do in that game already, but you're not gonna know the controls.
How to play the controls is what we're referring to with the controls, because we're not going to be able to.
It's what I'm trying to say with like the person before that and now.
So it's difficult to say that because our brains don't retain that information as efficiently as that of a child. So the language thing is a pretty good example, and it's one that's consistently used and it's very credible. A child is able to speak different languages because that's what they grew up with. If you were to take my sister Cody, who Okay, she knows some Spanish, but she's not the best at it. She understands how English works, and she views English to be the only thing that she needs to know, or that's like number one, right?
Yeah.
When she tries to learn Spanish, it's kind of difficult because what gets introduced are genders.
Did you? Fun fact, by the way.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but did you know that air traffic controllers have to know English?
Air traffic controllers?
Yeah, they have to know English
I think
to
it's because
communicate with.
primary. It's
It's-
primary.
Yeah, it's like just like so that every person can communicate with each other in English. Anyways, keep
That's
going.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's say with Neuralink, okay, we're obviously gonna be have the advantage of knowing it already. But if a kid comes in and he's able to pick up the advanced version, if it's explained well. He's able to pick it up quick. But if we start from basic, right? We start from number one. We know how 2 + 2 works. But then they start introducing new software, new information, and now we have to learn how to do 2 × 2, and 2 + 2 is no longer relevant. It's going to be hard for us to retain the information because we only know 2 + 2 is absolute truth.
And it's gonna be harder for us to learn.
2 × 2. And then you introduce 2 squared, and it's like, I'm barely getting the hang of 2 × 2, and I'm not that bad at it.
I feel like you're barely getting the hang of what I was saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, okay.
Well, it was kind of hard to to see what you're trying to say because you're
yeah,
you're hearing.
my bad.
No,
But
you're
like,
good.
a kid can definitely learn something
way quicker and probably be very efficient.
quickly, but also there's a lot of information
that needs to be learned.
Yeah,
And that kid is going to be able to learn it quick because
like-
we were the pioneers that were able to receive the information and dumb it down for them.
I kind of have like a good analogy for that.
Okay, go.
Let's say that you're playing Call of Duty, right? And you're
Yeah.
playing on easy mode.
Okay.
And then you go to hard mode or veteran, right?
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be pretty difficult, right? But let's say you start on veteran.
Oh, so now you're proving my point.
Yeah.
With
Now
kids.
you
You see my point? Exactly.
Right? It's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
That
That's what-
kid's gonna learn faster on veteran.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
That's
from the-
what I was saying.
That's what I was saying at the very
Kinda.
beginning.
It's what I was doing with the Pong person.
It was kind of difficult to see the analogy with that, man.
Okay.
Maybe I'm dumb, and I'm sorry.
But definitely they're gonna learn a lot quicker on veteran
Yeah.
because they have to do it.
They have to get in, and if they want to enjoy the game, they better suck it up and get through it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But a kid could definitely learn faster. Not gonna lie. Right.
Mm. And so when you take like the muscle memory, for me, it's more difficult to pick up PS or a
PC.
PC or a
PlayStation?
PS5 or PS4, PlayStation, yeah. Because I have that muscle memory built in, and I only know as the Xbox to be absolute fact, and everything else is like I don't need to know that, and I'm very stubborn, and that's something that gets seen throughout the science community, the science community. When you see something to be absolute fact, and when you see somebody else come in and try to discredit your papers or your findings or your information that you've gathered, it's kind of difficult to suck it up and say, oh, I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Because you've dedicated your whole life to finding that this is absolute truth.
You really think they're gonna put Neuralink into a kid?
That'd be pretty cool. That kid
That'd
would
be
do
pretty
amazing.
scary though.
That would. Oh my god! What if that Neuralink just takes over the kid's mind and that's not even the kid anymore?
Ooh.
That's just the AI. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Oh, and then it'd be sad though if they gave it to a little kid, and then from let's say from age 10 to 20. Imagine when they take out Neuralink, how bad it's gonna be for that person. Because that's basically kind of what they live with.
Yeah, I think. What's just with me and my glasses, it's I'm visually impaired, but I need my glasses, and I think it's we need our phones. The technology is going to be integrated and it's going to be more acceptable.
We don't need
society.
it, but we're gonna be behind if we don't use it.
Yeah, it definitely gives us an advantage in being able to retain so much information,
Mhm.
receive so much information, process it, and form our opinions. Which I think now in our era, we are probably the most educated in comparison to any other generation previous to us, because information is just there. If I want to know how to build a bookshelf, I could legitimately just do it.
You can go to IKEA and get like a bookshelf, and it comes with instructions.
You can. Technology is just such a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I love technology. I may be viewed as a millennial or a Gen Z for saying something like that, but I'm fine with it because technology comes, and we have to learn to adapt with it, or you'll get left behind.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yep. And I remember like we had a class, and they were like, "Should you take away a kid's phone?" I would say no.
I would say
because then you're gonna
yes.
put them. I would say no because
like during the class.
No. Like just
entirety.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
Yeah, like let's say for example, like I honestly think that it's that parents giving their kids iPads is a kind of a good thing, right? But not it's like a dual-edged sword.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah, double-edged sword. Or like it's good because they're learning technology, and it's crazy because you can see like this 2-year-old or 3-year-old just like
learn how to set up YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have like 60-year-olds not like, what is this thing?
Yeah, and it's crazy. But that's good though, because in the future, if they don't know that, then they're gonna be behind.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and so
in technology,
when you take something like that into consideration, the opposing side is it feels so disingenuous to just leave your child there with an iPad. But it allows the parents to do whatever they want freely with their kids being distracted.
Yeah.
But then you like I don't know. I don't have my own kids, so I don't see myself on a platform to tell people how to raise their children.
Yeah, because I definitely seen some people just leave their kid with an iPad and they're just gone somewhere, and that's not good. That's not good.
But there's just so many advantages to that because it allows more freedom from your kids. Because
you don't want to be around that kid all the time.
Love your kid.
Yeah, but like
we love the kids. We love the babies. But I like my free time too.
Yeah.
Like whenever you
but when you have a kid, you gotta be prepared to give up some of your freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and even if it's not your kid, you have like family members that here.
Yeah.
Because they have to go to work or something.
Yeah.
And what I would do is like when I took care of them is I just turn on the TV and I'd be in there with them on my phone. Because I'm distracted. That's how they keep us all distracted. It's interesting, the idea of technology just being so integrated with our society.
Yeah.
And so now there's this idea like
and they're making it so much easier
and so much faster. I think that's why for me personally, I'm more of an Apple person just because of the simplicity behind it.
Yeah. And the whole ecosystem. Like with AirPods, pull it out, stick in your ear, and boom, you got music in your ear now.
I think Android probably brings some very high quality phones.
Oh, it does.
But I just wouldn't use it for something that's like recreational, maybe business. But even then, it's like an iPhone's pretty dope.
Yeah. I mean, I like both phones because I've had both phones. I
but like you've gone more towards like iPhone.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because so many people that I know have iPhones.
Oh my god,
and then
that's
I
a
have
whole monopoly.
Yeah, and then now I have to, like, in order to do like, obviously I don't need it, but like, there's iMessages, there's faster ways of sharing your photos. There's just a lot easier thing. There's like faster ways of sharing your stuff with iPhone users if you have an iPhone.
I have like issues when I'm editing the videos. When I try to upload a photo from my phone, it's so weird. Everything is disorganized as though they're trying to get me to buy a Mac. So I give in to their monopoly overlord that is Apple. And this idea that it's so difficult to transfer photos from my phone to something like my laptop, it'd probably be easier to have my Mac because those two components work and function better together.
Yes.
And it's just like the ease of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the laptop I have it's fine. I'm not gonna get a new laptop just because of this sheer convenience.
But that's what I did. But honestly, I had an iPhone before that anyway, and like going from an iPhone to like an Android back to iPhone wasn't such a big deal, right? Because it was really easy because I already had an iPhone. But then going from an iPhone to an Android, was hard because now I didn't have all that stuff that I used to have before. But I had
like
a
the
lot
idea of being able to take your battery out. If you had like another battery, you could put another battery in, and you didn't have to worry about charging it.
But I didn't have that. I didn't have that Android though. But it was more of the fact that I had like a really high res screen with I can like customize everything I wanted on it.
You just don't have the platform for it, and it's so difficult to use because, and it heats up. It's weird. Well, I mean, all phones heat up, but then there's like certain accessories out there that are literally dedicated to just the iPhone, and I think with just like the rise of tech companies, there's definitely this idea of a monopoly being existent. You see it with Apple. You see it with YouTube and Google. You especially see it with Amazon. Yeah. And I'm not saying that these companies are bad, but their practices in something that is as large as a monopoly and how destructive and potentially destructive that it could be, it's real. It's a real threat.
They don't really have a monopoly though. They just make it really hard to get out of it.
They don't have a monopoly?
I don't think so.
Who, like Amazon? So those companies?
Well, no, like Apple, and like Apple versus Android. I don't think Apple has a monopoly.
I think Apple does have a monopoly.
I don't think so. They just make it really hard to get out of it.
Store. The App Store is the only place you're able to download apps on their software. Why do they not have any other forms of downloading apps?
I see what you come from.
That's a monopoly right there.
Like Android, where you can do it from the like a website, right?
You have opportunities of being able to download that software from different
but
locations.
they do it because of security reasons though. They don't want their users downloading stuff from just weird sites, right?
Of course, yeah. So it's this idea of what rights are you willing to give up to use? Where is it? It's a social contract. You give up some rights to have protection.
It's like the government.
It's like the government. Yes, Apple's like the goddamn government, freaking government. But I think that the App Store itself, it came into question literally not that long ago with the
Epic Games and Fortnite on there.
Huh?
With Epic Games and Fortnite.
Oh, that was an interesting case. Yeah, Fortnite, okay, it's weird and whatnot, but the whole like legitimate legal case that came up with it was so interesting. It was basically, it's what I'm referring to.
But Epic Games didn't break the rules though.
So again, the idea is Epic Games was trying to be a competitor of the Apple App Store, and Apple didn't let that. They didn't like the idea of Epic Games coming out with their own downloading process on their phones because they can have.
I don't think it was that.
No, it was.
No, I think it was the fact that Epic Games was. Okay, so you know how you can buy the Battle Pass and all these skins in Fortnite?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of giving some revenue to Apple, they were all keeping it by themselves
Oh, no, yeah, that was the reason.
Yeah. And they were breaking Apple's rules, and Apple didn't like that. So.
And I think Epic had the
It was money.
It was, yeah, okay, yeah.
It was definitely money.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That was the one. But I remember there would be a discussion where Epic wanted to come out with like their own, pretty much kind of like their own app store. Mm-hmm. Or they were going to push for a case like that in the future. And that's why Epic was like on the fence. Because I think it was in competition with Steam. And I don't think Steam was allowing it. Because Epic would pretty much be a competitor of them.
Well, I mean, Epic has their own launcher on the PC.
And I think that's something that they were trying to bring to the App Store. And there's conflict of interest. Nice save, though. Okay, I remember. It was the whole money thing. But the idea of... And so, again, when you hear like these big companies saying that they evaded taxes, right? Like, there's a lot of issues with that. But the only thing that gets brought up is that they're evading these taxes. Okay, but why are they evading the taxes? Because they have a legitimate incentive to... They got offered things. So when Amazon brings their big like factory,
their warehouses
to a certain state, that brings jobs and that brings progress and that allows for businesses to start up.
And it allows for one-day shipping.
And it allows for businesses to be able to compete with each other and to have a platform like that. And so what makes the reason that sometimes they don't pay taxes is because of the sheer benefits that they bring and the sheer incentives of technological and economic progress that comes with it.
Mm.
So yeah, they may, it's kind of sketchy that they don't, pay taxes, but they bring a lot of progress. And that's something that's like, it's like when you think of Amazon, they spend $600 billion on advancing technology and advancing their economics, right? And that gets shed upon the people, because when they're able to,
now we get better echoes and all that stuff, right?
we get better echoes, we get better drones, we get better technology. So when you think of Apple, they might evade taxes, but they're putting in like $800 billion into technology research.
But goddamn, is it so expensive?
It is expensive, but they pay for it, and then they allow us to use it, and that allows us to progress with them. And that's where the incentives and this idea of like some of them not paying as much taxes, because there's technological advancements. Do you really think that your mom and pop bakery shop is going to bring? They might pay, like a good portion of taxes, but do you really think that they're being like super useful? It's like the economy into the people. In comparison to something like Amazon, where they're literally bringing in college tuition, college students, and bringing job opportunities, you kind of start understanding why they might receive a bit more, like having to pay
But
less taxes.
I think it's people are not saying it's fair because they're so massive that they can't even compete with them.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and I think there is a monopoly. I think there is a legitimate issue that there isn't enough competition out there for them to go up against.
Yep.
And it's very, yeah, it's true. I think there should be something done. I haven't looked too much into it, and I haven't really thought about it. I'm just like common Joe. But I think that they do have a monopoly, and what they've done, something like, and we haven't even brought up our boy Facebook, our boy Mark Zuckerberg, or Sir Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
2 minutes is about to be 9. We should be wrapping this up.
If you ever wanted to upgrade your phone, by the way, I feel like you should buy a new battery before you upgrade.
Buy a new battery?
Mm-hmm.
How come?
Because
But I also need, one of my speakers blew out, and I can't use the audio.
Oh, okay. You see that's where you messed it. That's why you gotta take care of it. That's why you gotta take care
I've
of
had it for like 3-4 years.
Just take care of it.
I don't even have a case on it.
Bruh. But yeah, changing out the battery will probably bring it back. Make your battery life longer because it's new.
It still works.
Yeah. But I think, you know what also makes people upgrade though? It's the fact that they don't bring updates to the phones
Yeah.
after this
Same.
range. But yeah, anyway.
All right, Brian. It's been a pleasure talking.
Yes.
I should be wrapping up the podcast here. It's about to be 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have work tomorrow. Wait. Yeah, I work today. We work. All right,
Yeah.
brother. Thanks for coming in. It's podcast number 4. Wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, take care.
Bye.